Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett and thank you for spending some time with me today because in this video, we're talking about some interior design mistakes that as a designer who really works with real people, I see quite often and they're easy to avoid. We can get your home looking beautiful whether you have these or not. I want to share with you how to avoid them and how to fix them. Now the first one I see all of the time is actually that people buy without planning. You always need to have a plan in place. And so it's not necessarily like if you bought something and you didn't have a plan, you have to get rid of it. Like, no, we can make it work. And that's what I do all of the time. My clients will have, bought a new house or have painted their walls or something. And, they didn't consult with a designer. They didn't establish a plan. And so now it's like, hey, this is what I have. Fix it. Let's make it perfect. Let's make it work. And it's like, well, okay, we have limitations on us now. So here's what we're going to have to do. And ultimately, I give them something beautiful, but it may not be what they initially intended on having. And that's okay, but it just limits you if you don't start out with a plan. And a plan can be as far as like buying furniture that's the right size or, measuring before you purchase. Like a big conversation I always have with clients is, we find a sofa, right? Like we like this sofa, it's good. Sofas are kind of standard sizes. And now it's like, what size rug goes with it? If it's an 8-foot sofa, can we get an 8x10? Well, are we gonna have side tables? Like what's happening there? Can we get a 9x12? Like, what are we going from there and what else are we doing? So we can't just buy a sofa and then say like, okay, get the rug. We have decisions we have to make. We have measurements we have to make. How far away is the coffee table gonna be? How wide is that gonna be? What accent chairs are we gonna have? Are we gonna have 2 sofas? Those are questions we always have, but that's not always everybody's case. They're not starting from scratch, right? Like a lot of people, they're looking to do an update or honestly, I deal with a lot of clients that have something happen in their lives, whether it's they had to move or they had a flood of some sort. And so they're forced into starting over and they want to hold on to as many pieces as they can because it's like, if you lose everything, that's a big deal. They don't want to get rid of all of it. They like it. They liked it the first time. They chose it in the house. Maybe they're upsizing, maybe they're downsizing. So we kind of establish that as the plan and we go from there. What are the measurements and dimensions of those? How do we find the right pieces to go with that? And oftentimes you need to go bigger than you think you do. You need to establish a plan. You need to figure out the correct sizes of everything before you buy anything, before you paint your walls. That way we know exactly what we're getting into before we make those commitments and we avoid any mistakes or we avoid having to compromise on the design because ultimately you and I both, we just want your space to be beautiful. So this is how we're gonna get there. Now you may say like everybody's been there and we've all done that, and absolutely, but if you've bought something and it's not working out, if you are looking to establish a plan, you're thinking about buying a house or you're doing something, you're moving, now is a great time to work with a designer. Before you get in too deep, you can always book a one-on-one virtual consultation with me using the link in the description box down below or by going to intro.co/GarrettLeChic. We can have a virtual call and you can show me around. You can even show me photos of a space that you may not be in yet. So be sure you head to the link in the description box down below or check it out at intro.co/GarrettLeChic and I'll see you over there. Another design mistake people make all of the time, and it's kind of sort of an easy fix, a little bit difficult, but we'll get into it, is actually the size of light fixtures. Just like I said before, you need to go bigger than you think you do. And you need a bigger light fixture than you expect to put into that space. And I actually just saw this on someone's video, like on TikTok, and they like bought a light fixture they really thought was beautiful and it was like high-end expensive, but like it just was so small because people don't realize that, like the fixture itself, like you see a dimension, you're like, yeah, okay, that's good. Like, hey, if I hold 18 inches in front of my face, that feels pretty big. But by comparison to your living room, it's not. It's really not. So you need to go bigger than you think you do. And this happens pretty much in every aspect of lighting in your home. Like with overhead recessed lighting, you probably need more than you think you do. But those pendant lights, those chandeliers, wall-mounted fixtures, typically people buy them undersized and they just need to be bigger. So here's a couple of parameters I want you to remember so that you get the right piece the first time. If we're hanging a light fixture over a table, a dining table, or even a kitchen island, I never want that fixture to be more than 2/3 of the width of that piece. So, the shorter width of your dining room table, let's say that's 3 feet, I want that light fixture to be right around 20 to 24 inches. That's 2/3. Same thing goes for a kitchen island. I want it to be about 2/3. That way it feels substantial and it feels beautiful, large. It will give enough light without feeling like a little dangly thing buzzing around, like a little bee in the space. I don't like that. So we need a light fixture that's the appropriate size. In a living room, you can go much larger because you can center that piece not over the coffee table, but over the furniture arrangement. However, we have to talk about the height that piece is hung at or how low it hangs. In my home, I will never hang a light fixture less than 6.5 feet off the floor. And I don't care if it's over a table, I don't care if it's over an island or a dining table or whatever. I don't like light fixtures to be hung very low. I want them to be hung a little higher so the ceilings feel a little higher, and I don't have that kind of feeling of like I can see, like I'm standing there looking and like I'm looking into a light fixture. I'm not a particularly tall person, but I'm not short either. So that kind of average height, 6.5 feet from the floor is a really good starting point. If you have lower ceilings, I would even go 7 foot if I had taller ceilings. So bear that in mind when you're out shopping or looking for what you want. And there's a place for small light fixtures. If you've been there, you've done that, you have the small light fixtures, that's perfect for a hallway. That's perfect for a bathroom. That's perfect for a small area because it will be a big light fixture in a small area, even though it's a small light fixture in a big area. So you can use that to your advantage. Hang your fixtures in the correct space so that they don't feel teeny and tiny and underwhelming. We want them to really enhance that space and bring your eye upwards. Go big on your light fixtures to really showcase the design. Now I'm going to talk to you about something that some people will find controversial and other people will think is obvious, but you need to hear it, and oftentimes my clients do too. That is, it is perfectly acceptable to put furniture in front of windows. Now, with that said, I don't want to block the window. So I'm not going to tell you to put, a china cabinet in front of the window. Like, that's crazy. It doesn't make sense. Don't do that. But you can have a chair in front of a window. You can have a sofa with its back to a window. You could put a small table with a lamp on it or a vase of flowers in front of a window. It's okay. And it all depends on your home and the layout you need and you have to do. Because like some people have big enough houses where we can just float the furniture in the middle of the space. Like I have an awkward sized living room, but it's kind of substantial in size. There's a lot of hallways and walkways in it. So like none of my furniture has to go against a wall, but some of it has to have its back to a window, and that's okay. A part of what you have to do if you're putting furniture in front of a window is you have to kind of romanticize it a little bit, okay? And basically romanticizing it means you have to convince yourself. You have to be a little bit delusional about it. And a part of that is just like embracing the beauty of the imperfection, right? Like if I have a table in front of a window with a lamp on it, like I'm gonna be like, this is so beautiful, and everybody is gonna walk past and see the light from outside, and I'm gonna love that so much, and it's beautiful. I might put a vase of flowers there and be like, oh, look at how great this looks with the light streaming through it. That's romanticizing it. I'm going to do whatever it takes to make the perfect furniture layout or the perfect enough furniture layout in a space or a living room. Whether that means the back of a piece of furniture is to a window or not, it's okay to do. And I know it's like maybe not perfect feng shui, but every house isn't designed so that you can have that. And that's okay. Sometimes that's just not what will make that space usable or make any sense, or you won't be in that room. So then move. What's the point in having it? You don't need that house. You don't need that space. You may as well not pay for it, right? But if you just break the rules a little bit, you can do something spectacular. And if you have a window behind your sofa, make it stunning. Get some great drapes on it, get a gorgeous Roman blind on it. Maybe you have 2 of them. Let's put a beautiful piece of artwork between them. 10 out of 10. Enhance the space, romanticize it, make it something beautiful, because it absolutely can be. Every space, every room is just a room. It's just 4 walls. You can do anything with it. You can make it beautiful and spectacular. And we talk about that all the time here, every week, right? We always talk about how to make your home more beautiful. So if you're in the position where you love design and you're looking to enhance your space and your life through great design, be sure you hit the subscribe button and join us. Become a part of our LeChic family. I'd also greatly appreciate if everyone watching could give this video a like. And if you do hit that subscribe button, please comment down below and share with me so I can personally welcome you to the channel. Another design mistake. And sometimes a design mistake is something that is actually a mistake. And sometimes it's just like, I have a signature when it comes to design, and that's what you're going to get from my work, right? And a part of that is something I love for a very good reason. And the thing I love is substantial and oversized drapery hardware. I don't like cheap little drapery hardware. I don't like thin drapery hardware. I don't like any of that. And when I say it's like a part of my, design ethos and it's a signature I always have, I just like substantial drapery hardware. I just do. And, I think it's accessible. I think it's out there. Like, you can shove it on my Amazon storefront. I also like it from Ballard Design. I also think you can customize it. You can go and find some alternatives out there for it, but get a drapery rod that's oversized with good substantial brackets, because I want extra deep and weighty curtains on that rod, okay? I want them to be like full looking and feeling as if we can black out the entire window with the drapes, right? And I love pinch pleats too. Pinch pleats, people go crazy for and they love them, but the reality is it's literally just folded fabric. It's literally just folded fabric. So you can get the cheapest drapes possible. You go to any store, you can get them, fold the fabric, put a little stitch in it, you have pinch pleats. You can have it custom made. There are plenty of places that do that. And yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. You might pay a little bit more for it, but you can literally do the same thing with a wooden dowel. If you want a really specific finish on that drapery hardware, right? Like, you can get like a really good quality gold spray paint and paint it, and that's fine. You could do a bronze kind of thing, but if you want it colored or painted, like if you're doing a kid's room, sometimes that's really fun to paint your drapery hardware, like a color, paint it white, paint it pink, paint it green. I love that. Go with a wooden dowel. Go to a hardware store, get a substantial, like a 1.5 inch wooden dowel, and that can be so beautiful. You can get wooden finials for it. Boom, there you go. And you can have that drapery hardware made for like 10 bucks. Are you kidding me? And if you have a drapery supplier near you, chances are they will be able to do custom drapery rods for you, and that's a perfectly acceptable thing as well. Going substantial on your drapery hardware, 10 out of 10. Doing this like thin little baby hardware that's like from, a box store, it never lasts. Don't bother with it. Go big or go home. And that's a really good place to add a little bit of quality into your space because you're actually using it. And be sure, if you're in the market for drapery hardware, you check out my Amazon storefront for some of my favorite finds. That's linked in the description box down below. Another design mistake I see all of the time that I always have to address with clients is small artwork. I love artwork. I love beautiful artwork. I love all sorts of artwork. I think artwork tells you about who a person is. And so having artwork, super important, super, super important. But it's got to be the right size. And it always needs to be bigger than you think it needs to be. But here's the thing I notice most of all. It's not that people get artwork that's too small. It's not that artwork can be too small. It's that it's just not in the right spot. It's just on a wall that's too big for that piece of artwork. It has to be proportionate and dimensional to that wall, and there are certain tricks you can use to do that. For example, right here behind me, I have a drapery on my window. This piece of artwork is a really good dimension for this wall. It fills it up beautifully, and you can see it. That's the most important thing. If you have a little piece of artwork on a big wall, I mostly see wall. I mostly see wall. The wall is overwhelming that piece of artwork. I'm not looking at it. It's just like a thing on the wall. It may as well be, like the control switch for the air conditioner, right? Like if it's too small, it's just not gonna look good. But if it's the right size on the right wall, that artwork will be stunning. It will be gorgeous. I will see it. I will not be able to look away from it. It will really enhance it. And there's only a handful of tricks we can use to get around this. One trick would be adding more artwork on either side, above or below another piece, like stacking them. And if you do that, it may look like the right size, but you're going to distract from the piece of artwork. So I would rather it have really good lighting on it, or, if you have two windows next to each other, like putting drapery on them with a piece of artwork in between them, like that's a really good spot for a small piece of art. A lot of times clients will have like angled walls in their homes, like those have a random kind of angled wall in a hallway or something. That's a really good place for a small piece of artwork because usually they're not big walls. They're usually smaller, so a small piece of art fits there perfectly. Big artwork that is genuine, right, that's from an artist is usually very expensive because a lot of time goes into these pieces, okay? Totally justified, love that. If you can't do that, if it's just not in the budget and it's not accessible to you, there's nothing wrong with a mirror. A mirror is a really good piece to put on a large wall. We're bringing in more light, we're bouncing it around this space, we're enhancing the scale of everything, and it's more affordable than getting a custom piece of artwork. So you can go really high-end with small pieces of artwork that are, beautiful oil paintings, originals, and one-of-a-kinds, and then use mirrors to your advantage to make that big wall not feel so empty. And there's other types of artwork you can get that are very big naturally. A tapestry. Tapestries are pretty big and you can find them large and I love that. I love folding screens, like Oriental style folding screens. Love them, 10 out of 10. Get one, hang it on the wall. Those are huge. Like sometimes you'll find them that are like 6 feet long by 5 feet tall. If you need a really big and substantial piece, that could be something interesting. And of course, if you have a little bit of talent, a little bit of ability, maybe you like minimalism and you just want something simple, you can make your own artwork and, you know, have some fun with it, and you can really customize the colors in it in your space. Artwork should be the right size for the wall it's on so that you can actually see it. We can see what's in that piece of artwork instead of it feeling like just a little thing stuck on the wall. It feels out of place. Nobody's looking at it because we can't see it because the wall is too big for that piece of artwork. If you love a piece, hang it on the right wall so you can actually see it. And hey, while we talk about design mistakes that you should avoid, let's talk about some things that are gonna make your house look cheap, and you should avoid those too. Be sure you check out that video right over here, and I will see you over there.